The roots of suffering. Suffering is a state of unconsciousness. We are unhappy because we are not conscious of what we are doing, of what we are thinking, of what we are feeling, and that is why we contradict ourselves continuously, at every moment. The action goes in one direction, the thought in another, the feeling is somewhere else. We are falling apart, we are becoming more and more fragmented. That is suffering. We lose integration, we lose unity. We lose completely. We lose the center, we are a simple periphery. And naturally, a life that is not harmonious is condemned to be miserable, tragic, a burden to be carried as one can, a suffering. The most one can do is to make this suffering less painful. And there are 1,001 kinds of pain relievers. There are not only drugs and alcohol, religion has also been used as an opiate. It leaves people drugged. And naturally, all religions are against drugs, because they themselves are in the same business, they are against competitors. If people take opium, they may stop being religious, they may no longer need to be religious. If they have already found opium, why should they bother with religion? And opium is cheaper, it requires less commitment. If people take marijuana, LSD, and other more sophisticated drugs, it is natural for them not to be religious, because religion is a very primitive drug. That's why all religions are against drugs. The reason is not that they are truly against drugs. The reason is that drugs are competitors and, of course, if you can stop people from using drugs, it will be easier for them to fall into the traps of the priests, because that's the only way out for them. It's a kind of monopoly, only their opium is left on the market and everything else is declared illegal. People live in suffering. There are only two ways out of it. The first is to become a meditator, alert, awake, aware, and that is something very difficult. It takes courage. The cheaper way is to find something that can make you even more unconscious than you already are, so that you cannot feel the suffering. Find something that will make you totally insensible, something that will intoxicate you, some anesthetic that will make you so unconscious that you can escape that unconsciousness and forget all your anxieties, and senselessness. The second way is not the true way. The second way only makes your suffering a little more comfortable, a little more bearable, a little more comfortable. But it does not help, it does not transform you. The only transformation comes by the way of meditation, because meditation is the only method that makes you conscious. For me, meditation is the only true religion. Everything else is just a fool's errand. And there are different brands of opium: Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Jainism, Buddhism, but they are just different brands. The container is different, but the content is the same. They all help you in some way to adapt to your suffering. What I propose is to take you beyond suffering. There is no need to adapt to suffering, there is the possibility of getting rid of it completely. But the path is a bit difficult, the path is a challenge. You have to become aware of your body and what you do with it. One day, Buddha was delivering his morning discourse and the king had come to listen to him. He was sitting in front of Buddha and kept wiggling his big toe. Buddha stopped speaking and looked at the king's toe. Naturally, when Buddha looked at his toe, the king stopped wiggling it. Buddha began to speak again, and the king again began to wiggle his big toe. Then Buddha asked him, "Why do you do that?" The king replied, "It was only when you stopped talking and looked at my toe that I realized what I was doing. I realized what I was doing. I was not at all aware of what I was doing." "It is your finger and you are not aware," said Buddha. "So you could kill a person without being aware of it." And exactly in that way people have been killed and the killer has not been conscious. Many murderers have denied in court that they killed someone. At first it was thought that they were simply lying, but recently it has been discovered that they were not lying, that they did it in a state of unconsciousness. At the time they were so rabid, so enraged, that they were possessed by their fury. And when you are enraged, your body secretes certain toxins and your blood becomes intoxicated. To be enraged is to be in a state of temporary insanity. And the person will completely forget what he did, because he was not aware of what he was doing. And that's how people fall in love, kill others, commit suicide, do all those things. The first step toward consciousness is to pay close attention to your body. Little by little, you become alert to every gesture and to every movement. As you become more conscious, a miracle begins to happen. You stop doing many things you used to do. Your body is more relaxed, your body is more in tune, a deep peace begins to prevail even in your body, a subtle music vibrates in your body. Then, you start to become aware of your thoughts. You have to do the same with thoughts. They are more subtle than the body and of course, also more dangerous. And when you become aware of your thoughts, you will be surprised what happens inside you. If you write down what is happening at any given moment, you will be in for a big surprise. You won't believe it. Is this what's going on inside me? Keep writing for just 10 minutes. Lock the doors and close the windows so no one can get in, so you can be completely sincere, and light the fire so you can throw what you write into the fire, then no one will know but you. And then be absolutely sincere, write down what is going on inside the mind. Don't interpret it, don't alter it, don't edit it. Just put it down on paper unadorned, just as it is, exactly as it is. And after 10 minutes, read it. You will see a crazy mind inside. We are not aware that this madness is constantly flowing like an undercurrent. It affects everything that matters in your life. It affects anything you do, it affects everything you do, it affects everything. And some of it all is going to be your life. So, this madman must change. And the miracle of consciousness is that you don't need to do anything, other than become conscious. The very phenomenon of observing it makes it change. Little by little, the madman disappears. Little by little, the thoughts begin to conform to a certain pattern. Their chaos disappears, they become more like a cosmos. And once again, a deep peace pervades everything. And when your body and mind are at peace, you will see that they are in tune with each other, that there is a bridge. Now they are no longer running in different directions, no longer riding on different horses. For the first time there is agreement, and that agreement is an immense help to work the third step, becoming aware of your feelings, emotions, moods. This is the subtlest and most difficult layer, but if you can be aware of thoughts you only have to go one step further. It takes a little more intense awareness to start meditating on your moods, your emotions, your feelings. As soon as you are aware of these three things, they all come together into a single phenomenon. And when these three things are one, functioning perfectly in unison, humming together, when you can feel the music of all three, they have become an orchestra, the fourth happens. What you cannot do happens on its own, it is a gift of wholeness. It is a reward for those who have done these three things. And the fourth thing is the ultimate consciousness that awakens one. You become aware of your own consciousness, that's the fourth thing, that makes you a Buddha, an awakened being. And only in that awakening does one come to know what bliss is. The body knows pleasure, the mind knows happiness, the heart knows joy, the fourth thing knows bliss. Bliss is the goal, and consciousness is the path that leads to it.